she looks.
He's sweet. He told me that when I sat down. I was like, it's a thermal shirt and a hat, but I never ever take it for granted. I love it when he says that.
It's the truth.
I like it when you wear this one, and I like it when you wear the Penn State basketball hoodie.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that one. Hey, Jude. Jude, thank you. We didn't see you last night in here. Hopefully you caught the replay. We showed everything. Oh, it was amazing.
I'll grab it again later.
I just said it right away. You worked really hard on that, and it shows. Very cool.
Right now, it is hanging up on our front door.
And then the beach thing with the shells.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Is she done with the Bible? What will I find? What will happen after Job?
Is that how you spell spiel? I never knew that.
Hey, Michaela. Spiel? How do you put it?
She put it SCHPIEL, like that spiel.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it.
Jude literally typed spiel in there. That's awesome. Hey, Michaela.
Well, should we? It appears that we're not. You're way over there. Can y'all see Sean? Okay.
I think it's okay.
Okay, just as long as it doesn't look like I'm taking over the clip.
Even though I'm a big Georgia Bulldog fan, and they had their big game against Ohio State on Saturday, I've got my Texas, my Austin, and my Greenville, North Carolina representation going right now.
I like it. It's chicken or something. I thought y'all saw that I uploaded a short. Did you see this short? That's what I saw. I was like, it was a year-round.
Yeah, she said the top represents Sean's heroic military career. It's the colors of the flag.
We caught that.
I did, and see, I'm really colorblind, and I still caught that because there's no green to clash with the red. So if it's red, white, and blue or whatever, there's green, but not like the
very well done.
colors.
I can show him again if some people weren't here yesterday.
Yeah,
the wreath I posted, but the other.
I just want to wait till we have a few more people in here, and then we will.
I was switching out the laundry. Guess what they found in the truck that we had forgotten about? Something that he had literally gotten with raceway points.
Yeah.
In South Carolina, and it was a $25 Carrabba's gift card, and I remembered it, but.
Why did I get that, though?
Your points, right?
Yeah, but there was a reason. We were seeing each other.
Oh, that's when you got it?
And I was in Cincinnati at the time, and I was about to fly out.
I thought you already had it.
It was...
but you can use it for Outback, we're finding.
The point is that I'm going to fly to see to see Mandi in Austin, and I'm going to take this. And I always carried it around. We never really used it. We didn't have a Carrabba's there.
We did, but it wasn't nearby. But Outback was, and it works for Outback too.
Yeah, but that was why, and I've always carried it around.
So apparently, though, it's still working. So we're gonna try to use it probably for takeout.
We might.
Anyway, it was a nice surprise when we found it.
Where is there a Carrabba's? Is it incoming? That's another reason why we haven't used it, but we can use it for Outback. I did not know that. This is the year. I mean, I think we're in a time. How many people give gift cards for Christmas presents? Because we saw a lot of them come out at my parents. Like people would give gift cards to other people. We got 2 Tractor Supply gift cards. That was really cool.
Yeah.
We thought, and they ended up being more than we thought too.
They did. We got a bunch of chicken stuff. I got the actual egg cleaner, like that you can use to clean the eggs instead of. I've just been using vinegar and hot water, but this I don't know. So anyway, I did forbid. I thought, Jude, you might because you had the directions so awesome on how to unpack it.
Yeah.
I figured you probably had an Etsy store or something like that.
She does. She is out. She said?
She said she did have an Etsy store, but it was overwhelming. I have a full-time business for 37 years. I make them now for donations, benefits, never for money. Very cool. There's one of the charities that I'm involved with my mother-in-law. We may talk to you about that. They do some silent auctions and things like that to raise money. I might talk to you about that.
Something like that. We could commission you to buy a couple of them from you for that. That's a good idea.
You want to see the quick little short in real time?
The one that Karen said was
yeah. Did you see it?
I haven't seen it. Was
it
today?
It's very short. Yeah, hold on. Shorts. Hopefully it won't. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't buffer on our own thing. So hold on. A new little purchase so they can practice different sizes. The Grateful Dead one isn't on this one. Nothing fancy.
Where's our little one?
You're holding it. You'll see it in a second.
Oh.
I'll show you our little tiny Tim in just a second, but I wanted to show Sawyer hears my voice. You guys can. I just want him to see it because he didn't realize I'd snuck a clip of him. You can go perch on it. Cutie pies.
We have to get their vaccinations too.
I know. I think Tractor Supply.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the last part. Isn't that cute? Come here, Sawyer. And then you can hear little Sawyer. It was interesting. He sat there and took a nap with the baby. He's a cute baby. So there you go.
Oh my God.
When you pick him up and you sit with him, he immediately goes to sleep because I think he's just always kicking his feet and trying to do whatever. So when you hold him, he like immediately goes to sleep. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I took a nap too.
My very favorite pictures of us, one of them.
It is the very favorite. So anything exciting this day after Christmas? It's Boxing Day. For those of you who live in or around England or any of its territories, Boxing Day is the day after Christmas, and it is a holiday, and they don't have to go to work that day either. So United States, I encourage you to adopt Boxing Day.
I do have to give credit to the post office
Nelson.
for staying shut down today. I mean, they didn't deliver. No, it wasn't like I was
It's good.
off.
They finally figured out that the world will turn.
I think they're trying up at headquarters. Like, look, we don't know how to hire people, but we need to give them a break.
Yeah.
You know, give them a little
The
bit of time with their
turnover
family.
will be smaller if they do that or whatever.
If I got 3 days off, like
Banks were
say
closed.
once a quarter, I had 3 days off, it would maybe change my mind about things. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Justine, hello. How are you? In a second, I'm gonna get that lip gloss because it's like it would look better with lip gloss because you're a guy though, but you don't so much know that.
I just carry it around. I know it's like one of those things. Like Mandy's like, here, I might come home and my lips will be chapped and cracked. I don't notice it and she's like, oh my God. And then I'm like, what? And then she puts chapstick on me and I'm like, oh, that feels better.
It's because your mothering instinct never goes away. You know when your kids would be like, you'd see their lips were red and they would be either licking them or rubbing on them and you knew they were chapped, so you went and you put it on for them. Then when they got older, they could do it themselves. But if they didn't, you still went up and said, I'm sure like Sean takes it really well when I do it. He's like, oh, thank you. If I try to do it to my son, he's like, Mom, I can put chapstick on. I'm like, just let me put the chapstick on.
Yeah, but he could be Sergeant Major of the Army. You'd be like, come here, son.
Yeah, I think that the people that he worked with would be very surprised if they saw the soft way he interacts with me. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's true for every.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he's some hardcore drill sergeant type, but he's very. I don't know how to explain.
Hey, Justine. Hey, Nelson.
I am going to also grab the things from Jude.
Yeah.
In a second.
So, another bit of good news. The Kia started right up today.
The Kia started.
And I was thinking that it just got cold. Once it gets above 30 degrees or whatever, I'm a little bit skeptical about the morning. I'm going to go out and run it again here before we go to bed.
But it likes me more.
Yeah.
That's why I started. I said, watch, I'll get in. I'll be like, hey, it's me. And I'll start it and it'll start right up. And it sure did.
But that would sure be nice if there was just no hitches.
I don't think there's going to be.
I don't think there's going to be. It was really cold.
You might want to, if it'll help your mindies, like at 3, we could get up and turn it on for a few minutes and then.
I'm going to turn it on as soon as I get up.
Okay.
And but I'm gonna turn it on. I turned it on when you went out an hour ago and ran it for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do it again before I go to
Justine
bed.
says she wishes she had Sean's fire in front of me. We don't have any wood left. I didn't realize you go through wood that fast.
Well, it's because of the awesomeness of the fire. But
we had bundles, and under the shed is gone too.
I mean, we had 2 bundles here, and yeah, we used 2 bundles a night. Last year when we made fires, we used 1 bundle a night, but
it's been nice having a fire.
I dropped the ball on that because when we were leaving, when I got the Kia started, I didn't want to put wood in the back of the Ford, but I was like stopping. You know, it's like It's only like $6 a bundle.
Yeah, we can put it in the back. We're gonna have to at some point.
At some point, but at $6 a bundle, I could have gotten a couple bundles today, but
We'll get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or Wednesday.
by tomorrow night, it's supposed to by Wednesday, it's supposed to be back up to like 50.
Well, then there you go. I'm trying to find after we get off. I'm gonna show you the other one where the chicks were looking at the Grateful Dead tapestry. I was doing whatever I was doing, and they found a place to perch, and they were right by the tapestry. And you should have seen them. They were like and they look at it this way, and then they look at it this way, and I was like, "Oh, you like that, guys, huh? They like your tapestry.
They do.
They're Grateful Dead fans.
They're deadhead chickens.
They are. I was like, we'll get a black light and have them sit in front of that and look at it or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, I did. Hey, Lisa, why did they put Lisa's? They put hers in review.
Some name that she might have said like.
She said hi with like 3 eyes.
Maybe emojis or something.
Yeah. What's up,
Usually
Lisa?
it's Mama Ricky that gets introduced by his message.
Yeah. Ricky is like default. It's
And
like
he loves
they just
it.
go all this. Just hold that. That nasty bitch.
Let It Go is here. Lisa's here. I know we already went live last night and talked about some of that, but that game was actually fun. Family Feud.
Yeah, I mean, if they could have worked out a buzzer or something like that.
But they don't really like a lot of goofing around. Like my family, like we goof around about, like when they said, something Santa wears, and I was like, G-string. And some people chuckled. The one hosting it was like, no. And I was like, but mine does.
Yeah, we like a sexy Santa.
So then I got serious, but I still didn't do very well.
You did okay.
Well, it said like smells associated with Christmas. And when you get down to the last couple, it's like...
But you said fire and nobody believed you. Or nobody was
Yeah.
but like specific, like maybe is it going to be like pine wood? Is it going to be...
That's true. Yeah, how was Santa? Did Santa treat you well? Even if you got nothing, did you have a peaceful night?
It's something like that and healthy. There's a lot of people like Mandi and I went. I didn't work Saturday, and when we went by the store, we ran into one of my coworkers, and she was sick.
And she never gets sick.
Well, she does. I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if she was stoned or tired because her eyes are always like that. Because it was whatever. She's a good coworker. But she works herself like way too much.
Yeah, they all work. Like, it's going to be hard. He goes back tomorrow, and I've gotten used to him being here and doing our thing. Probably going to start looking for a different job. Still federal, but one that doesn't have so many hours.
I'd just be content with Monday through Friday with weekends off, I know. Or even like, Tuesday through Saturday with 2 days off in a row or something like that.
We'll see. We'll see. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to let me get lip gloss real quick? Can you carry it?
Yeah, I can carry it.
Tell these nice, and I'll bring that thing back too. Look, Sawyer wants to make sure that we know he is involved in this.
Yes, Lisa. I hope Santa was nice to everybody too. If you think about where Mandi and I were 10 days ago, like last Friday, what was this Friday? The 16th or 17th, when the engine blew on the truck. And all the stress. I mean, we tried to hide it pretty good, but we were really like, man, we need to figure out. You take your car for granted when it breaks down. And then in the times that we're in right now, you can't just get a loaner. Put it into perspective. Car with 50,000 miles on it has an engine problem. It's under warranty, no problem, right? You take it to the dealer. Not only can they not fix it for a few months, they have no loaners. So you're just kind of sitting there like, well, what do I do for a car? I pay for this car. I pay for the insurance. I paid for the warranty. Somebody's supposed to make good on it. And they're just kind of like, we're so sorry. So we were working with the Kia, which is a good solid car. Mandi liked driving the Kia, 90,000 miles on it. It's not, it's in good shape. But then when it got really cold, it wouldn't start. So from where we were 10 days ago to now, we really can't complain too much. We really can't. So our Christmas ended up really hectic and stressful on the front side, but as we're coming out of the season, we're okay. We're okay.
We're
It was
okay.
good. Yeah.
We are. Hey, Table. So this is the other thing I didn't show yesterday that Jude sent. It's a, I think this goes on a doorknob. I've been trying to keep it from Sawyer because anything like this he wants.
Let me see it again.
This is an ornament.
Yeah, this is
Farmhouse Christmas. Love it. They match each other.
See, and that's more than just a simple thing to do. She's got to screen print that.
And she thought she had to she put so much thought into it. I don't think she did that. That's this one. I think she just bought that.
Oh. Hey, table, what's going on?
This is what? Okay, so Sawyer, hold on. You're not going to grab the thing. Hold on. I'm going to situate him.
He's really.
You go back to sleep.
Really in Shih Tzu mode tonight.
Okay. So this is what was in it. I'm going to show you this first. It's a glass, not a jar. What would you call it? A candle holder or something like that?
It is a candle, yeah.
Okay. This, if I'm not mistaken, is like barnacles and seaweed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is very cool. And you see this a lot on rocky beaches, right? A lot more than... See, I do know some things.
Not so... We wouldn't find that in North Carolina. Maybe up in the intercoastal, maybe in the rivers or whatever.
That's what I mean. And then some shells. Hey! I'll let you...
Hey, Casio.
So this, I put it in here, and I'm guessing that's the way it was meant to be. But what it came in was this.
I think that's super cool.
This is between the colors and the rooster, and I mean, it's like this with the trim, and then the top of it is like this. Totally awesome. I love it. Sean does too. I was very impressed with everything. We were blessed. Like, you guys sent us stuff, and that was really cool because you certainly didn't have to, but it meant a lot. And I think that we make it pretty clear we're not only into stuff, we're into the friendship and the season. But you put water in it.
Oh,
with the shells in the bottom, and then you put the...
And it's meant to absorb water, that thing is.
Okay, well, there we go.
Butters Love Casio says her brother-in-law has pneumonia.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, Jude says the boxes are used a lot in benefits as centerpieces with small arrangements. Get that, yeah.
We'll do that. That's perfect.
You want me to grab the wreath real quick again?
Yeah, you can grab it. Sawyer's like...
He's like, dude.
He's like, you got to get still. You know, when Shih Tzus are sleepy, it is up to us to make sure. Put it water and water. Okay. Well, you want us to do that right here? We've got some water. The card that you sent, I saw the card too. The card grows plants out of it. Am I right, Jude? I have that ready to go. I read the instructions. It looks to me like you get the card wet and stuff grows out of it. Okay, fill it up to the brim like Jude said. Okay, hold on. I did. That's what I was just... Okay.
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't. I was just telling her I saw the card. I think it was a little delayed. Give me, there you go.
This is
Sean's military service.
It's gorgeous. And
this says the curlies.
Yep.
There's little chicks. Amazing. It took a lot of work. That took a lot of work.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It really is.
It really is.
Thank you so much.
We're hanging it on this side of the door so it doesn't get faded or anything. Hey, Yoga. Well, we'll do this right. You get, Sean.
Yes.
Will you, actually, I think this is enough water, but I'm going to be using it. You fill it.
I'll do it.
Well, we fill it up to the brim, she said.
Okay.
So we'll do it.
This
should be enough. Well, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I thought we'd let them watch it. Well, we'll do it and then we'll watch the results.
I should have known that plant would do that, though.
Yeah,
Being the beachy man that I am.
The card.
Yeah, Yoga, it's pretty good, isn't it? How's it going? Awesomeness.
A tiny bit more. We need a tiny bit more water.
Okay.
We do it to the brim.
Okay.
You want to put it in this?
Yeah, let me see it.
Okay. We're doing it. It smells like the beach.
Does it?
Yeah. It has that...
I bet you if we put salt water in it.
That's amazing. We'll put some more in and watch it. You did. No, I think you did. The instructions for how to grow, but I might have just thought it was for the card, and I didn't realize it was for this. I read the wreath one on how to unpack it. That was very well done. Writing out the instructions so people unpack it correctly. The other thing...
That's to the brim.
Yes, the other thing, that's good. The other thing is that people were when we used your box that the wreath came in to take presents over to the in-laws. That size box is unique. Everybody was trying to take our box. I was like, we finally gave it to someone, but it was like, I guess that box size is very unusual. Okay, so this is where we're at with it. Let me do it. Oops, sorry, Sawyer. He's like, you just got water on me. We'll have to set it down while it absorbs and stuff. Look, Sawyer is not pleased. Just set it on that coaster right there and we'll watch it. Watch it transfer. And then we'll put the camera on it. We shall see.
I'm gonna get my water.
Anyway, very cool, Jude. I would never ever have guessed that you were, I mean, I knew you were creative and you've said you are, but you like the things that you come up with that to put together, and that is amazing. Like it's so cool. Let's see. Okay, so other than he goes back to work tomorrow, we are in the last week before New Year's. And we don't normally do anything for New Year's.
New Year's Eve is going to
number
be
one,
the Georgia
nobody
game.
stays up to that, right? And you must have plans with your brothers because they were saying, "Are we going to see you next weekend?" And it's okay.
We haven't planned where.
Usually we do it at your parents' house.
We do it at my yeah.
So that would be fun, but we never ever. Of course, Jude, we never ever make it till midnight.
No, I when you got everything you want, you don't need to.
Yeah, well, but what's funny is, remember when we first met and I was like, so do you want to kiss at midnight? You're like, yeah, we can do that.
And I was like, she was like, well, what? And I'm like, I might not used to being awake.
And I thought that you were being like, well, yeah, you can do a kiss. And it was like, is it a male version of New Year's Eve? Like the day after Valentine's Day?
I know New Year's Eve, like, I'm trying to think of what I did.
His parents do let it go. We will probably be over there anyway to eat. They're Irish. Well, your dad is. Mm-hmm. So she does the corned beef hash. She puts seasoning on it. And
last night was good.
What was the other thing she always makes? The
corned beef hash, cabbage.
Cabbage. That's the New Year's thing. But something
There's
else.
Like a soup or something like that.
Yeah. And it's really good. I never had corned beef hash until that I liked until she made it, but she seasoned it perfectly, and so I like it.
My mother doesn't really season the stuff that much, so
she's always looking out for other people's health. If they consult it if they want to, but she doesn't know who's sensitive to it. So, yeah. But black-eyed peas she incorporates too, doesn't she?
She does all that stuff, lentils. You're like, after I met you, you were the second person that I ever saw that kind of soak lentils or soak the soup stuff. Mm-hmm. My mom does that, but I had never really seen anybody else do that.
Soak the lentils?
Well, remember when you soaked the beans?
Oh, yeah. That's what they do? Mm-hmm. Okay. What we used to have is, at my houses, we would do the, at my parents' house, we would do the black-eyed peas and take those little smoky sausages and you cook them in that.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what maybe if we take something as a side over there, we can do that, you know?
Michaela says, my New Year's wish is to find a place to live.
It's going to happen.
It will.
It's going to happen.
It will.
Black-eyed peas is a must. I just use the canned black-eyed peas. But is that also an Irish thing, the black-eyed peas?
I don't know. I think so.
I think a lot of it is Irish, right? They put a lot of stock in the new year.
Yeah.
And luck.
That's another reason to drink too.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Irish love to drink. So do the Russians. So do the Germans.
Most of
so
Europe.
Do the Texans.
Most of Europe likes to drink.
I know. I'm just kidding.
It's cold.
We had a friend that we would do like an outdoor fire. It was the most unlikely couple. He was Polish, and his wife was a beautiful black woman. But when he would be over at our house, he would drink his vodka, and when he would finish, he'd throw it into the fire. That's like what they do there. And so for a second, because there's still remnants or whatever, and we were like, don't do that. I was like, they're gonna call the police or whatever. But he said they do that in like over where he's from, like all the time. Like they just throw it into the fire when you're done
Polish
with it.
There's Polish in like on my dad's side.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Koski is the last name.
Ah.
I've actually seen when my grandmother was still alive. I saw like some of my ancestors. It was like the Austrian army and stuff. They were Axis forces. You know, they were fought with Germany,
Yes.
Austria, and some of those other countries that were the Axis powers. Those were my relatives. We weren't all allies.
I talked a little bit to I guess it would be my niece. Chris and Katie's. Okay. And he's like the boyfriend is a history major.
Yeah.
And I was like talking to him about things that I said, like, because he's very, very intelligent, but he also just knows. And I was like, okay, so I was thinking about the Irish potato famine earlier, and I couldn't figure out why there was a famine. And he was like, this I do actually know, even though European history isn't my expert. And he explained it to me. It was before they learned to rotate their crop.
Oh.
They had overused.
Yeah, so yeah.
I didn't know if it was a lack of rain or I didn't know what it was, but
they used up the land.
They're supposed to rotate their crops and they didn't. And I said, so they lived off of potatoes? And they said, well, yeah, but they also bartered with potatoes.
Oh yeah, that was it. When the potato famine, it was like it was their whole livelihood. It was their whole.
Did you say Koski?
Koski is
yoga pants.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and that would be my grandmother, my dad's mother's side. So yeah, I'm not sure if they spelled it that way, but yeah, it was like Koski, and Tabish was another name, Tabish. Pennsylvania is where they are. So if that helps.
Oh, very cool. A hot vegetable dip. It's delicious. I can DM you the recipe. Lovely. All of that sounds good. Y'all are making me hungry. Right? I'm out of soft pretzels. It's a sad day, you guys. You know how I eat those
I was
soft
all ready
pretzels
too.
for
I was
snacks?
all ready when she goes, I'm out of pretzels. I reached for my socks. I thought we were.
No,
I mean, we could have made a list though, like pretzels. We could have gotten some firewood. We could have done it, but.
Well, now it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I would still do it at this time, but my sexy little husband is
I'll
like,
go with you if it's.
I know you would, but
I think it'll be too late. By the time we get off of this, it'll be
I'll go
10,
in the morning.
10:30. Yeah.
It'll be okay. I'll go in the morning. What are you looking at, Sawyer Brown?
We thought we were going to get away with leaving him on the bed, but as soon as we were like, we're live,
he's like,
you hear the boom.
Yeah. He's like, these people want to see me. I can tell you. Come here.
You put him up?
Who?
Scout?
No.
Oh, he's on the bed.
He's asleep in the other room.
We got Storm there, Sawyer there.
It's 9:30. I bet you in any second now he'll come walking in here.
Yeah.
If he's asleep. Yoga might be related to you, Sean.
Yeah. We can look into that.
We should do the ancestry.com stuff.
So my cousins.
Have you done it before?
I have. Well, I've done it to figure out my genealogy. Yeah, I think
the DNA one.
Yeah, the whole family. Well, my parents did it, and then they just gave it to us because if you take my mom's and my dad's and put it together, it's mine. I haven't done one specifically for me, but I think that the most interesting thing that my dad found is we're like 3% like Middle Eastern.
Oh, really?
Just somewhere along the line.
That's really cool.
I don't remember if it was, and we have a lot of Viking in us too. We didn't know that either. Like Scandinavian and.
Well, I think it was Mama Ricky who was saying sometimes the person will take. You related to Amy Slayton also?
Maybe.
They said that sometimes if you can take the same test twice and it'll come back with different results.
So yoga pants.
I don't know if that's true.
Just to elaborate, yeah. So that part of the family, the Curleys, my dad. He was the son of Irish immigrants, steel mill workers and things like that in Pittsburgh. So my great grandfather, but a lot of them did that. But I also heard my great grandfather actually uh, did some bootlegging or whatever. He was like a Irish kind of mafia guy
Oh
back
wow.
where the Irish mafia wasn't quite so big back in the late 1800s and stuff like that.
But I heard the Irish mafia was way crueler than some of the other ones.
The what my dad said was when we talked about his grandfather, my great grandfather was he wasn't a very nice man and he didn't die a nice death.
That's what,
What
yeah.
he said, and he didn't elaborate. I didn't
I
ask.
heard that it was
So
that they were hardcore.
yeah, something like that.
Um,
But basically, we were steel mill workers in that region, like the movie Far and Away, up in there, and they fought a lot and drank a lot. No cops came out of my family, and that's odd because a lot of Irish back then, the lineage is police officers. I do have police officers, but that's more on my mom's side.
do did your grandfather have an Irish accent?
No, not my
But
grandfather.
his father did.
I didn't know my great grandfather. My grandfather quickly, and I'll just say it because it's really not a secret. He had really, really bad depression. He had in the cities like Pittsburgh, they had the little tracts of land where like right there in the city, they built these places where you could like rent like a 20-foot by 30-foot plot, and you could grow things like it was a farm, and you rented like almost like a car lot or a storage, but it was farm plots, and it was right in the middle, and everybody could buy their own land, buy an own piece, and they would grow stuff, potatoes and
Okay.
things like that. And he worked with his hands a lot, and he had a stroke, and I believe in about 65, when he was 65, and it really debilitated him, and he was an unmedicated, depressed man, and he would take off and be gone for a couple weeks and come back, and
Hey Panda.
so he it was kind of estranged from my dad. I personally, his oldest grandson, I had a really good relationship with him. Like it never bled through his mental problems, his psychological problems. With me, when I would go visit him, he would take me to the museums and stuff like that. And my dad's brother, he had two boys. When I would go there, my uncle would take me to like Penguins games and things like that. You never knew that there was anything going on with him.
Yeah.
But
But that's interesting that it was like you hear of things like Pittsburgh and Baltimore and things like that, and then you learn what most people worked in Pittsburgh. It was the steel industry. In Detroit, it used to be automobiles.
yeah,
But that closed down, I guess, when they went overseas. But they're trying to re-energize it or whatever. But that used to be another thing that people, in that area.
when you look at places like Detroit, and they have whole neighborhoods, whole like big neighborhoods that are just abandoned.
Yeah.
When the
Yeah.
auto,
They pulled out, they were gone.
I mean, so when you if you ever watch like the first 48, that
Sawyer.
detective show about catching criminals and stuff like that, or any show that has Detroit in it, it is almost like ghost town subdivisions
Yeah.
that in
That's
that
what
city.
I've heard.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah, like people there was no work left. And
Cleveland was like that in some of it too. It's just a tough place. There was a time in our country's history where that part of the country,
Sawyer.
Detroit, Cleveland, they were, industrial meccas. And that as times changed, that cities didn't really evolve. And they've been on like hard times before the whole rest of the country fell on hard
before
times.
it was a thing.
Yep.
I'm glad everybody's trying to talking about how it's peaceful and relaxing. We try to keep it that way.
There's a lot of drama going on out there.
Yeah,
Right now.
every this is how we like it. We
Yep.
like it to stay in our own little world. We don't need to get involved in anything else.
If you're paying attention to it, and not to give too much attention to it, there's a couple factions that were trying to pull us into the drama just because of our OG kind of lineage that we have.
Not the beast.
No, not her. It was completely different, and we were just kind of like,
We just don't.
you
have
guys
them.
have your wars. I mean, we've both been in positions through the past years where we've been in the drama. Me, and obviously, if you remember the boardroom and all that with Mrs. ATX, but that's kind of not our gig anymore. We're not really.
We're reformed.
Yeah, we're in witness.
Unless you
We're
piss
in
us off.
OG witness protection.
Unless you
We're,
piss
know,
us off.
Yeah, we'll drag a bitch every once in a while. But,
okay, but so where was like, okay, so when they talk about like the railroad industry, and was that in California where they built the main tracks?
That's a good question.
And I think the Chinese are the ones that helped us, right?
Yeah, who knows about that?
And then I heard something about they would have opiate tents, and that's how they kept them like
sedated where they would work.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was just curious. That made me think of that when you were talking about.
Whenever you play like strategy, if you read history, or whenever you play like strategy games, like Civilization, I play Sid Meier's Civilization a lot. I love that game. Railroads revolutionized and it was the same in our history. Once they figured out railroads out west, right, and you can move things much quickly,
right. That's what I meant.
Everything changed. The whole industrial world changed. Mm-hmm. So it
became like next to when flight took over. It was the fastest way to get anywhere.
I mean,
you could get there way faster. Yep. Anyway,
the steam engine, coal burning engines, things like that. Yeah, I wonder where that started. The West Coast would make sense, but I don't think there was a lot of coal out west. That would be mostly in West Virginia, Kentucky, and stuff like that.
I always thought of gold as California. Sawyer, don't get into that stuff. He's looking for somebody. Who are you looking for?
Your brother's on the bed.
I think that's who he's looking for. He's passed out on the bed.
He's on the bed. He's got nobody to play with. He goes, well, here, bring your toy. Come on.
So what is your work schedule like next week? Same deal, off Saturday and Sunday?
I think Saturday and Sunday, and
Monday?
I don't know about Monday.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Would be nice.
That would be very nice. Very, very nice. Yes, you had a good Christmas, Dragonfly. What did Santa bring you? Dragonfly got back from Mexico, right? And then
she had her holiday party before.
She had her holiday party in Mexico. Oh, where's that thing doing? Oh, look, it's turning alive.
Oh, wow. Hold on.
Don't let it fall.
But it's not gonna it's already sucked the water in to where it won't overflow.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let me see. Look at it, you guys.
It's already bigger.
So as soon as it absorbs all of it, is it turning green again? You got a fishing canoe, very cool, Dragonfly. Is it going to turn green like the moss ball or whatever it is? How neat is that?
Lift it up a little bit more.
I love that. I'm trying. I don't want to spill any of it.
Here, I'll do it.
Okay. Sawyer was not pleased with that. How neat.
These are starting to poke out a little bit.
It's going to turn green like a carpet. Oh, wow.
That's cool.
I'm glad that we showed it. And I kind of figured out because I was like, okay, that goes in there. I love it. That's a good gift. I might give like my mother-in-law that or something for an occasion,
She would like it.
Yeah.
You're going to love it.
Isn't it cool? Mexico was a blast. I bet Dragonfly. We would love to. His brother's always joking when we're having dinners or whatever. He's always like, "So we going to Mexico next Christmas, all of us?"
My middle brother.
And we're like, "You footing the bill?" And he's like, "Well, I mean, if we start," I'm like,
"Yeah." He's always trying to work.
He loves vacations.
He's always trying to get us to go on cruises, and Mandi and I are just kind of like, we're not really cruise people.
Because I don't gamble and I don't drink. Tell me what else there is to do on it.
That makes sense, yeah.
Right?
I would be right. I'd be playing poker and stuff.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but I
guess
I'd want to be there with you.
Well, I'd sit with you while you did that. I'm saying I wouldn't want to just sit at the slot machine.
Yeah.
That's just not my thing. But I hear they make the most money off of their drink sales, so they're not going to make a lot of money off me or you. But you said you can sit by the pool. You can.
I mean, it's basically, most of them are 5 days. Some of them are a week.
Okay.
And you relax.
Jude, I'm with you on that. A lot of people are saying cruises suck.
Yeah, especially these days. I mean, here's what happens. You hear these cruise nightmares because if something happens with the boat, or if they have some kind of adventure, or some kind of
outbreak,
something. Yeah, somebody has a heart attack. I mean, it can go bad quickly. especially in the winter, when you're going, traveling around Europe or whatever. We did a cruise. We left from Boston and we went to Bermuda. So we didn't go down in the Caribbean. So we just steamed to Bermuda. It took about a day and a half. We spent a day and a half in Bermuda, which was cool. I like that. And then, a day and a half back. And altogether it was like 6 or 7 days or something like that.
That's very cool.
Couple days back. And it was the whole family, just like we did at OBX. It was the same gang of people, but we did it on cruise. So it was
That's pretty freaking cool. Right?
Yeah, we had fun. That was 20 years ago.
Yes, yes, yes. I was trying to see if Darcy was a little bitty.
She was literally about 4 months old.
Because since you were the oldest, you were starting families and stuff, but your cousins were still in their party years.
Yeah, I don't think there weren't any other kids. We were the only ones that had them. All my cousins
they were still in their party days.
Yep, they were all teenagers and in their 20s. There was a couple of them that were married, but that's really it.
And they said that one of the cleaning people said that was apparently the way that the cousins left it. They came from one room. Nobody would even go down that hallway.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean.
And then what did they say? He said,
someone got to put a cork in him and all that.
They said someone ought to put a cork in your ass or something, like one of the shit people or whatever.
We're big. We're a big family on the Hoffman side. That's my mom's side, and at 6'4" and a half, which is what I am, I'm about in the middle. Mandi will tell you, there's several of my cousins that are taller, that are very tall. I had a cousin that played basketball at SUNY in New York. He went there on a basketball scholarship. I have a cousin that Franklin Pierce is the name of the college up north. She played soccer. So yeah, we're kind of a tall group and a big group.
Yeah.
So
I bet they had fun though. I would be fun. They've talked about redoing it again, having something like that again. But
my one cousin's wife, the tallest one, the Hoffman boy, his wife was a Columbia grad.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
no,
she's Ivy League and she's a teacher.
Oh,
and
wow.
I think I'm not sure what she's doing right now.
Oh.
The kids are all in school. I don't know what she's doing, but she's a smart girl.
She's a cute girl. She's a smart girl.
She's a cute girl.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It just, the OBX trip happened, so I bet it would be a few years before anything else like that would happen. But it was a good time. I want to go back there.
Black Dragonfly, she says Alaska cruise are wonderful. I bet.
I've heard that.
I bet. And also, who's doing a cruise right now? Kiss. Like the band Kiss.
They're playing on a cruise?
It's the boat is their cruise, and they're going back and forth for the week. I bet
it's full.
And it's not just them. They like, one of the cruises that they'll have like other heavy metal, like hair metal people.
Oh, how fun.
So I'm guessing it's like a week-long cruise, and they just do the same route back and forth, but they're playing like their farewell tour on it. That would be cool.
That would be very cool.
So they play a couple concerts on the boat or whatever, but they said that I follow it on Instagram. It's just this cruise ship, and they'll be hanging out with everybody on the cruise ship.
Wow.
I mean, they're fans. So
so like, I guess it's kind of like any other cruise. You have your regular standard cabins or whatever, and then they get nicer and nicer depending on
as you go up there.
And then like the ones at the top are big.
They're
suites.
like suites, and apartments and things like that. Yeah,
that would be very nice. I just know from the Titanic. I saw that. I saw the movie several times.
Bahama cruise sounds nice. Mine was the Bermuda cruise that I went on, and I did not know, like, Bermuda is like about kind of like 80 or 85 miles off the coast of North Carolina. It's not down in the Caribbean. It's straight out in the Atlantic.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Something like that. It may not even be that far out, but
I didn't know that.
It's just, and it's bitty bitty. It's like when you look on a map, it doesn't barely blip as an island. You've got to zoom way in to find Bermuda.
Okay.
But there's, it's like everything else. It's got its main town in Bermuda. I don't remember what that town is, where like all where people live, and there's a small industry, and then the rest of it is all touristy, and they have whole areas where celebrities just own the properties, and it's instead of having roads, they're like little pieces. It's like boatway. It's like little, like it'll be a home with a yard, and if you're not on the property, it's water all over
Wow.
like that. And I remember they said like shack. I was going on like a little boat cruise. Shaquille had a property there. Like Kevin Costner had a property there.
Oh, that's
Stuff like
unbelievable.
that.
So they're talking about not wanting to go on like Disney cruises and stuff. Too
Yeah.
many kids. I can imagine that. And then Michaela said, "How's emergency going?" We got to get back on it.
We do.
There's been sports that have come on that we're kind of watching,
It's
and
bowl
that takes the place
season.
of it. But I think tonight, who's playing tonight?
It's on. It's this Monday Night Football's on, so it should be
But
done
who's
by the time.
playing?
It's the Colts and the Chargers. And you remember right before we fired up the stream, I was like, "This is a boring game." Remember I said
do
that?
remember that.
It was
yeah.
it was a horrible game.
Yeah, let that
But-
be the best baddest. The Big Red Boat, Club Med Cruise. Pull your hair out time, stay away. Really? And why is that? Oh,
What about Love Boat?
Club Med Cruise. It must be a bunch of kids, is what I'm assuming.
Speaking of cruises and 70s shows, Love Boat.
I've never seen it, but
The
I heard it was
Love Boat.
good. And it was a cruise that people went to meet people.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the
Do
singles
they still
went.
have those?
I don't know, but the thing is that they somehow they would make a show out of it. So did it have a plot, or was it just like a sitcom? Because if there was so much drama on that Love Boat, after a while, you think the word would get around. It's like
I think they focused mainly on the
crew.
The crew, but then like every time they would have new passengers come, so there'd be little mini
they'd
stories.
have guest stars.
Yeah,
Like it would be like
they should remake that. Can you imagine if they
I think
remade it?
They tried to do it.
Did they?
Tried to remake it. So
Viking Cruise, I've heard those a lot. I've heard the Sandals resorts are amazing. It's owned by Sandals. It's because you got to be careful at who you trust to organize your trip, because you can end up in a bad
times we're in too, man. I mean, things like with COVID, when that kicked off, all those things they ceased to exist. I mean, you weren't going on these Sandals. People weren't doing it. They weren't going on vacation. They weren't going on cruises. They weren't doing anything. They took a huge hit.
They did, and now it's kind of I mean, from what I understand now, they're more expensive than they used to be, because they're making up for the fact, used to you could get a pretty good cheap thing, but they're making up just to try to stay above water. My girlfriend and ex went on the Love Boat, renewed their vows. A few months later, got divorced. Oh my goodness!
A few months later,
got divorced. I'd love to see Marcus Welty, MD. Well, Karen, are you watching? Karen might
Sawyer,
know someone
stop,
from. I know he's going to rip. Karen might know someone from the Love Boat or from that show. Let's see. I bet you something. She's got a connection some way. Let's find out. I'm going to solo to Africa. A bit nervous, but very excited. I trust my travel agent to find me the right places. Yeah, I mean, that's if they are vetted and approved or whatever, and they have had a good track record, I trust them too.
it's starting up.
Okay, so what's funny about this? Let It Go says, remember the cruise boat that all the plumbing backed up and sewage was running over the ship. So listen.
Listen.
My sister's a cruiser.
She does? She likes to do it?
Yeah, okay, so I got my CNA, or I was in school to get my CNA to work in a nursing home. And then she said, organize this thing wanting to go on a cruise together. And I'm not big on cruises, and but I was like, okay, I will, or whatever. And so I started paying the deposit and everything like that. And then I got the job at the thing, and they said, no, you can't take a week off if you don't, if you start or whatever. And it was kind of, and I was like, okay. And so I told my sister, I said, I know I've paid a deposit. I know I can't get it back, but that's okay. I started this job. Do you know that damn boat? That was that boat that sat in the ocean.
Really?
Where they had sheets. Remember, they were hanging sheets on the outside on the decks or whatever.
Was your sister on the boat?
She didn't go.
My gosh.
She didn't go. That was that. And that's kind of why since then I've been like, see, cruises aren't for me.
Wow.
I can't remember why the sewage backed up though. Were they on the boat too long? I thought it was
Now,
something like
something
that.
else must have happened because I think
They wouldn't let them dock.
You're talking about like the pee and poop, right?
Yeah,
You
broke
can put
down.
you can put pee and poop into the ocean, and that's biodegradable. It's the other stuff that like you have to be careful of, like garbage.
Yeah.
But that's gross.
Yes, that was that damn boat, and for some reason I thought it like broke down and then sat there, and then it filled up all their reservoirs or something like that.
That's gross.
Yeah, Sean, I don't think they can put pee and poop in the ocean.
They can't?
No,
I thought they could.
They have a big.
I mean, they're not supposed to do it, but if they would have to do it,
I see.
the reason why they can't just dump it in is because there's probably, pieces of plastic receptacles for whatever.
Yeah, it says they wouldn't let them dock. I remember, and why wouldn't they let them dock? Was there like an illness on there or something? I do remember that. They ran out of food. They were dropping food on there. Their sewage backed up because it was full. It was a mess.
Didn't they eventually start taking smaller boats and disembark people that way or something like that?
Misty's right. You can't put gray water into the ocean. So things like shampoos and body washes aren't safe for the ocean. That's probably, but they don't. I don't think they let you. I think it's almost like a big septic tank. I don't think they let you. They don't run their sewage into the toilet. Maybe I'm wrong. Into the ocean. They all have macerators, chops it up, and they dump it. They all do it.
They do dump it. They're not supposed to.
The poop?
I mean,
is that they chop it up, meaning chop up the solid?
I guess it I don't know. It's not a good visual though.
No, it's not. But it's an interesting topic of conversation. Look, I didn't mess that up.
Is that
puddled?
Oh,
puddled.
That's because I wasn't there to examine it.
It's like a streak of tanner. Yeah, I'm curious. I had a macerator in my RV, chops it up. Okay.
Let it go's laughing. I guess she's laughing at me.
Where's Karen?
It's not a very good.
Karen can tell us, what are they chopping up? Just the solids?
It's not broccoli.
Yeah, I'm curious. I guess they have to chop it because I don't know. We do learn something new every day. And also sometimes people get thrown poop. Okay. Sometimes people get thrown overboard and are never seen again, and they just go, "Oh, that's just an accident." But the thing is in order to go overboard, you got to climb up on the side of something. So then it turns into we've got all different types of turds for feasting.
Yeah, you never know. You never know what
But now I get it.
It's going to take a turn in the ATX Tomahawk. I mean,
I'm glad they're open.
Even though we don't do drama, it becomes interesting.
There probably
drama.
is broccoli in it.
Yeah.
I think that, but you guys know what I'm talking about. That they say that always when someone goes overboard and is not found, that it's suspicious because you really gotta either be drunk and climb up to get off, or someone's got to throw you off.
Right. Yeah. You're not gonna. There's not too many places where you can swing clear straight into the water.
It's
so. You guys remember that Saturday Night Live chopping broccoli? There's a whole episode that's kind of what I think about
way more than I do about a lot
going
of things.
to the gym, going to work out, and this guy was making this song about all this stuff, and it's like chopping broccoli. It's the whole thing.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I'll show Mandi later. I'm showing her all the things that she wasn't allowed to watch when she was a
open
kid,
to anything.
When I was in high school.
Yeah, he was older, so he got to live the finer part of watching the bad movies. I like and miss Mad TV. I remember
Chris,
Mad
what's
TV,
up?
Mad Max, right?
Chris has been lurking. I hadn't seen him say it. What's
Mad
going on?
Max, I do remember that.
Mm-hmm. They feed us catch of the day.
So is that true? So they do fish? They fish?
Not on the cruise ships.
Well, maybe they drop off maybe they have a boat that comes up beside it and gives them what they caught.
I'm pretty sure that they pack the whole week's food.
Oh no, just kidding. Okay.
In there. Here's how it worked with us. Like when we got there on a Sunday, and we had to be there by like 8 in the morning or 8:30 or something. They check, And I'm not sure if it was passports or whatever it was. It was a long time ago. And I know that going to Bermuda, if you were in the military and you had like your leave forms and your military ID, it was okay. I think those times have changed. I don't think that's good enough anymore. But we got there, and we got checked in, and you have just a. I mean, it's not like you can be late for the cruise because
It
by about
leaves.
10 o'clock, it's gone. 10:30, it's gone.
And there's people that miss it.
There are people that miss it, and there are people that are. And I'm not so sure, like, even if it's still there, they're lifting it's a big
It takes
procession
a while
to get the planks away. They're
Yeah.
not just going to bring them back over again. So anyway, that was the hardest part about the cruise was the next, so you're there for a whole week or whatever, and you're partying, man, and you're up. So your sleep habits are all messed up because, I mean, you can go get an omelet at 3:30 in the morning. There'll be some place on the cruise ship that's open where you can
And
get
then call
something
it
to
a
eat
night.
or whatever. So by the time after about a week of it, your sleep schedule's messed up. You kind of, so you pull in, and then they'll tell you that Saturday night, they're going to be pulling into the dock. And as they're pulling in, it's not like they pull in, and then you start. I mean, you have your stuff ready to go. You're all packed up, and they've got a little bullhorn, like a loudspeaker, and they're going. It was funny because one of my cousins, Adam, he's the one that didn't. He was the one cousin that didn't make it to OBX.
Yeah.
They were like, you're people that have unsettled bills. You're supposed to, like, on Saturday, all during Saturday night, people are paying their bill, like their liquor bill and stuff like that. So, and then they're like, Adam, and they said his last name, $700, and they just tell
And
you.
y'all were laughing
They
at
just
him?
tell you. We're like, man, and they do that on the boat. They tell you the balance, but they hustle you right off that boat, man. You are off that
'Cause
boat
they're
at 8
cleaning
o'clock
it
in the
and turning
morning,
it
and
around.
and then because in 2.5, 3 hours, and they're unloading all the garbage, and they're wheeling in the food, and they're
Oh,
getting
wow.
and that's what they do. And a lot of that crew doesn't leave. Like,
Yeah.
they'll change out like a quarter of the crew, but if you're working on that cruise ship, you might show up and hit, and then 3 hours later you're back out with a new group because it's just work.
Yeah.
But it's a whole routine, and this was back 20 years ago, and it was like that boat. I guess they do. I don't even know how they do maintenance on the engines because it's constantly going back and forth.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is, if I ever make it onto a cruise or whatever, I think that I would want like a room. Some of them don't have windows, right?
The ones that are down
They
near
have
the
no
very
windows.
bottom don't have windows, and it's actually kind of at the waterline. It's sort of scary.
Yeah, I would want a window.
I mean, you have rooms that are.
But you can't see fish and stuff, can you?
No. But I mean, they have rooms that are small, like super small, like the size of this carpeted area.
Oh, wow.
You got a couple of bunks and a place to pee and shower, and that's it.
That is it.
Up all the way to like the 3-bedroom suites that have, stocked bars and all kinds of stuff. Depends on what you want to pay.
Yeah, I guess so. I want pretzels.
Are you thinking about that
Well, I
now?
don't want to make you go out.
I will if you want me to, or you can go without me. It doesn't matter.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'm having a good time. I'm contemplating pretzels.
When she wants her pretzels, she wants it.
And I'm thinking about the little baby in there.
In there?
Because we made his little thing for him to put him night in it.
Yeah, we did.
But don't ever get a room near the engines. I've heard that. Tell me what the worst part is. Is it hot or is it just really loud?
You're right. Let it go. That was the other thing. And there's a lot of people that if you get seasick, there's a lot of people that put those little Dramamine things on their ears. There were some people that had a miserable time because they were constantly seasick the whole time. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that. Does it ever go away? Do you get used to it at all?
I mean, I'm one of those people that I never know how I'm going to feel. Like I would go out deep sea fishing all the time. Some days, and the idea is to eat. Don't go with an empty stomach. Like you got people that maybe they were drinking all the night before or whatever, or they just drink coffee. They get out on the boat and it's sloshing around in their belly. The idea is to eat something solid and have it down there, and then take the drop. And then I would always just take a Dramamine a couple hours before just to be safe. Nothing like paying, for a fishing trip and being sick the entire time. That sucks.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. We'll have to do that soon. Go out on a deep sea fishing excursion.
What are you thinking, babe?
That would be fun. I'm thinking that we're going to tell these nice people we love them and sign off and get pretzels because you guys, pretzels are a serious staple for
pretzels
me.
are a serious issue.
You know that one that boxes that say soft pretzels or whatever? It's a good snack. And
let's go do it then.
we're going to.
I'm going to go with you.
You are? You can go with me.
What do you think's open? Walmart?
Yeah, everything's open. Okay. Christmas is over.
Christmas is not over.
Love you guys.
Was it over? Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
Christmas?
No. All right. Anyway,
I was like, did that happen at Christmas? But anyways, no. Yes, for pretzels. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be back tomorrow, bright and early. Well, bright and earlier, like 8:30, our normal thing. But
night, trash panda.
Y'all have a good night. I hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas and we kind of move into towards New Year's. I hope that you've got plans, or if not, that you have a quiet night at home planned, and that's what you want. And we'll see you then. But we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks
again, Jude. You were the all-star today.
Yes, thank you.
Always a pleasure coming on. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.